Hello everyone. Happy Friday. Happy sun is shining. Not that we can see it, of course, because we're we're all inside. Howard's on his usual river. I'm guessing it's a river, stream.
Yeah,
Big
it
stream.
is. It's the stepping stones in the Ribble Valley.
That's the one.
It's
That's the
nice
one.
and pleasant out here.
And obviously we want to have a chat today just about the housing market. It's been a little while since we've been live. I think it's 3 weeks actually since we've spoken to everyone.
This will be the third week, yeah.
Third week, isn't it? Yeah. And we hope everyone had a really nice Easter. Really enjoyed it. The weather was good, of course. But we want to just have a chat about how the housing market is, and what's happening at the moment. And it's been a little while since stamp duty was extended, and just what effect that's having, really. So, more sort of over to you guys. Just let us know what you think in a second. Just from the background of it is that sales are still driving really the unbelievable. The amount of the volume of sales still going through is huge. The new properties coming to the market is still low in comparison, so there's more sales than there is new properties coming to the market. And just to give you a bit of an idea before we go ahead, go a bit further, Matt in Lancaster was doing a bit of a recce the other day, just with the amount of properties that were available on the 1st of March last year, so 1st of March 2020 compared to, I think it was the 14th of April, so a couple of days ago this year, and there was a third less properties, so just over 400 less properties on the market. It was 1,200 on the 1st of March, 800-ish on the 14th of April. And Preston, Howard, those figures were very, very similar in Preston. Not quite as exaggerated, but very, very similar. So about a third down on available stock that people want to come and have a look at. So I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. So what you can do to pass that on to the public, give them an idea of what's happening. So over to you guys. What do you think?
It's to be perfectly honest, it is exactly what you said. Really, only really going to mirror what you mentioned there. I mean, the market has been. It's been rapid is probably one of the words to use it. As soon as properties are coming on the market, literally as soon as they come on the market, that's if they come on the market. I mean, obviously, some of the ways that we market the properties, people get to know about it, go around and view it. And I've seen yours, Matt, that you've got them on sold before they even come on the market. I saw the Facebook advertisement the other day about it, which is fantastic. And it's happening all the time. I've just been on the telephone today to a client. Ours came on the market yesterday. He booked to go and do it. He put an offer in on it, which he thought would get accepted. He's been rebuffed, sold to someone else. So today a house has come on the market this morning. He's offered the full asking price on it. He's viewed it this afternoon and he's bought that as well. And it's been on the market half a day, literally that. And that's what we're finding. And the majority of houses are coming on and they're selling. Okay, there's one not too far away from me. Isn't on with myself, but he's only been on the market 3 or 4 days and it's literally it's snapped. So that demand is. It's unbelievable. What's going to happen when we run out of houses? Saying that though, I do. You'll have some of your areas, Matt, as well. I drive around and I see houses on the market. In fact, Kevin and I were talking about one particular one without mentioning any other estate agent. Been on the market for months and hasn't sold. What if you were that seller, seriously, if you were that vendor, what must you be thinking? What you must think? Well, that's come on, it's sold. That's come on, it's sold. Why am I not getting any views? Why is it not sold? You've got to be asking your estate agent. I'm going to say ask yourself. You've got to be asking your estate agent. So there's quite a lot of them out there, though. Yeah. So there is. So will it get to a point? I pose this question to you guys. Will it get to a point where they think, well, actually, there's nothing else available. I'm going to have to go and buy that one. I'm going to have to buy that one. Clearly, the price is the only reason that's stopping it. One thing I found, Kev, is that through the way that we market it in Preston, is we find that the selling price is going over and above the asking price. So this gentleman I've talked to today, he's offered the asking price. In reality, if the estate agent in question was to generate more viewings like we do and have maybe, not that we could do block viewings per se at the moment, but we can orchestrate it that there's ample space, that the windows are open and there's time in between, that they don't get a better price. So it's a good question for surveyors, because I think they're going to get the mortgage surveyors. unless there's a big deposit, I think their job is going to be tough to go out there to actually say, yeah, it's worth that.
Yeah,
because
it is.
they are falsely inflated, in my opinion.
It is difficult. It is difficult, but you touched on this point there, and I know Matt will probably bring that up in a minute. But Matt, Lancaster, they are selling stuff before we get to the market, and that's because there's so many people we've got registered because there's such a short supply of properties. Matt, you're managing to sell stuff before it actually goes live.
Yeah, no, it's all positive. I mean, it's completely right. The fact of that stock is selling, but there's not enough stock. So you go out and value someone's house, and they say, "Well, I'm not going to put my house on the market unless I don't see anything." To which you kind of like, well, if you don't put your house on the market, then that's going to happen to somebody else. So that's kind of the backward chain that's happening at the moment, where people are basically they can't. I go and see Brenda and John, who are after a bungalow in Bear or something like that, and they're in a big 4-bed detached in Torres Home. If they don't put their house on the market, Paul and Vicky, who've got that 3-bed semi, they're not going to go and buy the big 4-bed. So it's kind of like an onward chain that keeps going. So we need more houses on the market, and it's proven that the stock that's coming on is selling. But yeah, things. I think that one thing that's massively gone up. Obviously, Lancaster City Council are changing the regulations with HMOs come November. To any HMO in Lancaster and Morecambe now, you get that on the market, it's like absolute gold dust. And people are paying absolute top whack for it just simply because it's not that you can't do HMOs after it all, it's just that the laws behind it are changing, which makes it more difficult. However, there has been some more stuff that have come in that obviously me and Kev were speaking about earlier in the week, that it's going to be easier to convert retail space into housing. Whether you think that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But, if it means apartments and homes, it will obviously mean more student accommodation, which, let's face it, for me, I know people will complain about student accommodation in Lancaster, but without the University of Lancaster, wouldn't be the city that it is. So, there's a lot going on in the background, and, the market. The one question I get asked the most by any valuation is, do you think this boom is going to come to an end? Do you think the market is going to crash after it? I don't think the market will crash. I just think it'll level off. I think eventually people will just go, I might as well put my house on the market now and just wait and see something on, and then all of a sudden it'll level out. I don't think it'll crash. I mean, I'm obviously not got a crystal ball. If I had a crystal ball, I'd be a millionaire because I'd be putting the bets on that I'd actually win rather than lose.
Well, there's a lot going on in the world as a whole, isn't there, as well, which is getting better. Obviously we've had the relaxation of the lockdown again, with pubs and shops and hairdressers and all these sort of things being able to open now, which again that will make people feel better. The weather is great as well, which always helps. Easter's always a bit of an odd point. Easter in particular, those 2 weeks there is always a bit of an odd time in the estate agency world. So now we're past that, and with all these things that more and more people can start doing, it's going to be better, I would think, and that will bring confidence, and I hope that will bring more people to want to try and move and to sell.
What, Kev? I was going to say, you mentioned Easter then. I remember years and years ago, Easter was always dead. Doing this job was always dead. There's nothing happening, and then probably over the last 10 years, there's been a resurgence. It's been really busy, and I've always found that Easter is quite busy. But for the first time for a number of years, the other weekend, I think I just found it really, really quiet. I think people just thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'm having a break. I'm not looking for houses. I'm not doing this, because in reality, it's probably the first decent break that everyone's had. And I wouldn't even say Christmas was a break, but I think that. So I think that personally, that it had a detrimental effect to the Preston market in terms of, I think it just kind of shut down for a bit. So I think we're probably a week behind what we should be in April at the moment. Given what I say. Something that Matt mentioned there before about commercial units maybe being converted. I think that you will see that happen, because if this COVID-19 coronavirus lockdown has taught us anything, it's taught a lot of people that they can work from home, and bosses and employers can get their employees working from home, saving them money. Okay, it's costing other people, homeowners, electricity, heating, blah blah blah, telephone and whatever else. But also, I think going forward, I think that will free up. So. I do think we'll get more commercial units possibly being transferred. But I'm sure there is in Lancaster, in Preston. There's a lot of people that have converted like old 1930s houses into offices and fronts and shop fronts in quite a lot of Preston. Now, possibly, I never thought about it until Matt mentioned it then. Possibly, we might see them being converted back to houses, which obviously will help as well. I think there will be. If you go, I go past Blackpool Road, for example, in Preston. Okay, along Blackpool Road, it's really, really long, and there's all those years and years ago were houses, and now they're shop fronts, and whether they're takeaways or television repairs or stuff or offices upstairs and downstairs. There's a lot of them that are empty, to let, for sale, and I think you'll only start a few of them next to each other to buy them because you'll probably get them cheaper, converting back to houses. I think we'll see that quite a bit.
Yeah, that would be very interesting, wouldn't it? And it sort of goes in line with what Matt was saying about the city centre, Lancaster city centre. Will have a lot of the space converted, I would imagine, to flats. One, because it keeps the students central, and two, because it will take up some of the empty retail space. The high street will take, I'm sure, a pounding from what's happened in the last 12 months. And that the reality is that people can live online, essentially.
I'll tell you what about pound? People taking a pound in Monday night. Well, actually, it was 12 o'clock Monday morning. The pubs opened up. I don't know. I've not been yet, believe it or not. Crazy, I haven't been. But the pubs, when you drive past, they're absolutely manic. This afternoon, I've been out today. This afternoon, they're manic. People sat outside. Yeah. Sun's been out today, so it has been slightly warmer if you get away from that cold. But they sat outside with the big jackets on, the hats on. I dare say some of them got gloves on, drinking a cold pint of beer. But he's shivering. Are we that desperate to get back to pubs? Really, I don't know.
Do you know what I think it is? I think people want to do something different.
I go along with that.
It's doing something different and being able to make a change to your habits that have been there for like 3 or 4 months, where you'll have had a routine, I'm sure, of going for a walk and all that sort of thing, and it's just a bit different. And more and more stuff is going to get opened up, unlocked. I think is it sometimes shortly you can meet more people outside or in your garden. I think shortly.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's all positive, and I think from our point of view, we would like that positivity just to come through into confidence, that people can put the house on the market. They will be able to find something to buy. They will be able to sell their house for more money. Okay, they might have to pay more for the one they're getting, but it's all relative. But
of course it is. Yeah.
Rates are low. Finance is readily available. The government have had a backing mortgages with a 5% deposit. Stamp duty is extended, and so, especially for under the 250,000 mark. It's the end of September for that. So there's lots of things going on that you would hope would breed confidence, and certainly this weather will help. But there's a lot of change going on, a lot of things happening in people's lives. To affect decisions. Although one positive thing I did hear on BBC News this morning, Howard, that I think Preston General was clear of any COVID patients.
Bloody hell! That's a change. They're not down south, are they? Everything's going back down south again, but that's where they get it first. But no, that is good news. It's positive news.
Absolute great news, that.
Really good. I tell you, just on you mentioned Preston Hospital. That's Fulwood, obviously. Just nearby there, I've been out talking to a guy today. There's going to be another development on St Vincent's Road in Fulwood, which is just where the old Chewson College used to be, that people from Preston. So it's behind the hospital. And there's going to be 8 big executive detached houses coming to the market, and that's on St Vincent's Road. So I know a little bit about it. If anyone's out there listening, and they want a bit of information on it before anything happens, drop me a message. I'll let you know.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds nice. It's a good little spot around there as well, isn't it? Very popular spot.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Well, we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully there'll be a bit of confidence that'll spill out into the housing market over the next few weeks.
I think so.
There's plenty of sales out there. you will sell your house, and if you're not, speak to your agent. Speak to us. Speak to a different agent. Get a bit of a second opinion on what your advertising looks like, because you should be selling at the moment, realistically speaking. So anyway, we'll leave you on that. Go out and enjoy the weather. Get to the pub if you can, especially you, Howard. I can't believe you haven't been.
I can't believe that.
Have a nice cold pint, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much for joining us and watching.
All the best. Have a good weekend.
Take care, folks.